Alright, here we are, back with Why I Want Season 5, coming at you here with, I believe it's the 5th episode? If not the 6th episode, I believe it's the 5th. Season 5, Episode 5, something like that. Today we're going over another one of these prospects for the 2022 NHL entry draft, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be discussing today's top prospect. Let's go back over to JYP Jyväskylä in the Finnish Liga. No, we're not talking about Brad Lambert again. We're talking about a teammate of his that has actually had a much higher level of success in the Liga than Lambert has had this season. Let's go over onto the right wing and talk about 17-year-old JOAKIM Kemell. Now, who is JOAKIM Kemell? He is a guy, 5'11", 176, a right-handed shot, as we said, a right-wing player. He plays on the left side on the power play, and he's been doing extraordinarily well for JYP Jyväskylä. Before we go over the stats and the numbers, let's go over the rankings first and foremost. He has a consolidated ranking of 3rd overall in Elite Prospects. Elite Prospects themselves has him at number 2. Future Considerations has him at number 6, Bob McKenzie has him at number 3, McKean's have him at number 6, Button has him at 3 as well. He is the top-ranked European skater by NHL Central Scouting, and he's ranked 3rd by Sportsnet, 2nd by Recruit Scouting, 2nd by Dauber, 6th by Draft Prospects Hockey, and then you have Smart Scouting and the Puck Authority, who have him at 11 and 10, respectively. So spare the few odd ratings here or there. JOAKIM Kemell is mostly being ranked in that 2nd, 3rd overall spot, if not just a bit later by some of the other scouting outlets. Why exactly is that? Well, if you go over to his point production for this season, this right winger playing for JYP in 22 games played has 18 points and 12 goals. Now that in itself is very, very impressive. You take a look at the Finnish Liga all-time U18 point production rates spanning back to the year 2000 to today, and JOAKIM Kemell is right up there with the likes of guys like Kaapo, PATRIK Laine, and Alexander Barkov when it comes to point production. However, before we proceed further, I wanted to take a little bit of a tangent because JOAKIM Kemell only has 22 games played this season. That is a pretty significantly reduced amount compared to the other players on JYP, as well as other players in the Liga this year. Why is that? Well, in November of 2021, so earlier this year, he actually was sidelined for the entire month with a shoulder injury, and then from mid-December up until the end of January, he left JYP as well because he went to go play for Team Finland at the World Juniors. So there was indeed a few big gaps that Kemell had in his Liga season this year, and if you go over to what he was doing earlier on in the season, well, he had 10 points in 10 games, 7 goals and 3 assists to kick off the season, which would have been good enough to being the top all-time point-per-game draft year guy. And the goal production, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself right here. 7 goals in 10 games to kick off the year. Now he is at 12 goals in 22 games. Kemell, though, is actually tied for top 15 in goals in the entire Finnish Liga this season, even though he missed out on almost 20 full games. So there is a really good amount of production coming out of this player, especially considering the fact that he's only 17 years old. If you do the math on Kemell and his season this year, 12 goals divided by 22 games played multiplied out, let's say by 43, because that's kind of the number that I'm seeing a lot over here on these other U18 prospects that are pretty significant NHL names today. He's on pace for about 23, 24-ish goals on the year, which would be the top guy on this entire list. More goals than Kakko, more goals than Patrik Laine. He's almost there, actually, beating Patrik Laine. He's 5 behind in a significantly fewer amount of games played. And for JOAKIM Kemell, when it comes to goal scoring, that's pretty much the bread and butter you're going to get out of this player profile right here. Outside of the Finnish Liga this year, he's had 5 goals in 5 U18 Finnish games played, playing for Team Finland at the World Juniors. He didn't have any points, but the World Juniors shut down eventually, so yeah, it's kind of unfortunate to see there. Although in the other game played he had for Team Finland and the U20 team, he did have himself 2 points there. And so what exactly is it that makes JOAKIM Kemell such an interesting prospect? Well, it is the fact that he is the top-ranked European skater, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was the top Finnish guy taken in this year's draft. He isn't Brad Lambert. They play completely different styles. Lambert is a lot more of a horse and a playmaker on the puck. JOAKIM Kemell is different in that he isn't one of these top-tier two-way Finnish centers like we see with the Lundells and the Kotkaniemis and the Barkovs. He's not like that. He's a lot more of a goal-scoring winger who just takes the puck, he grips it and rips it and shoots it in every chance he gets. He's a goal-scoring, puck-dangling right wing who makes his money with his shot. We noted how he's in the top 15 of Liga goals. Well, earlier on this year, he was the top goal guy in the entire Finnish Liga. His one-timer has fantastic form, he's not afraid to joust forward on one knee to get maximum height and elevation, and it's all automatic for him. He one-times the puck in the same automatic way you do in the NHL video games, where if the angle works, your guy just goes down on one knee and he hammers it all the time. His off-puck awareness as well is very strong, especially in the offensive zone, as he's able to identify open areas of the ice and find those free one-timer positions often. You'll notice this as JYP goes out there and cycles the puck around the corners and on the half-boards, but Kemell is always tapping his stick on the ice, moving to open areas. He wants the puck on his stick, and usually he's able to do something pretty well when he gets it. He's also got the hand-eye coordination to tip pucks in, and when he's carrying the puck, he's a treat to watch as well. He's always got his head up, scanning the ice for available passing options, and he's able to identify when he can charge in with speed and force his way forward, usually while protecting the puck pretty well. He's only 5'11", like he's not the biggest guy in the world, but I've always been impressed with his ability to come away out of puck battles with the puck and force his way into the checks of opposition while coming away with control as well. On the half-boards, he's not afraid to spin around and evade pressure, holding onto the puck and scanning the ice for available passing options. And when he's on the rush, he's not afraid to get low, use his low center of gravity, and really balance out the puck in order to make sure he protects it on the way to the goal. When he comes into the offensive zone with speed, he's usually able to draw defenders towards him because he's always looking in where he wants to go. However, wherever he wants to go on the ice is not where the puck is going to go, as he usually draws defenders towards him, creating space for open teammates, which he will exploit later on in shifts. He's a crisp and quick passer under pressure, and deceptive with his head direction when making these long-range passes, which serves him very well in the offensive zone and on the rush. You see this a few times where he's coming in with speed, he's going over to the right and he's looking forward, but he passes it to the open guy far on the left side. It's a pretty good treat watching JOAKIM KEMELL go through the offensive zone and carry the puck alongside with him. He's really smart on breakouts, and he's not afraid to turn around with control if he doesn't like what he sees in the defensive zone. And sure, while his off-puck defensive awareness could use some work, there is a little bit of a timing issue that he could work out with, and he gets caught puck-watching sometimes. There is a very strong offensive mind here in JOAKIM KEMELL that has served him so well in the Finnish league. Despite the fact that he's only 17 years old, we haven't seen anybody go out there with the start to the season that Kemell has had in a very long time. And even now, just taking a look at his regular point production, he's right up there with the guys like PATRIK LAINE, Kaapo, Kakko, Alexander Barkov. There's a reason JOAKIM KEMELL is ranked as the 3rd overall prospect on the consolidated list, and is seen by some people as even as good to go number 2. If you really want to go out there and start naming comparables, the easy one to go out there and say is PATRIK LAINE, but LAINE is a little bit different because LAINE is a monster, like he's a big dude. You can't shove this guy off the puck, and once in a while he will exhibit power forward-like qualities on the ice. JOAKIM KEMELL is a lot more of the same shooting style that LAINE is, but Kemell I think has a little bit more pizzazz and flash with the way he dangles the puck and protects the puck from the opposition. To me, JOAKIM KEMELL could be a number 1 right-wing player in the NHL who scores 35, maybe 40 goals in a season, and I honestly think it's kind of tough to deny that. It's not every day you see yourselves a prospect who has such a good goal-scoring ability as JOAKIM KEMELL, so much to the extent that he's able to outscore PATRIK LAINE in his draft year. And you gotta remember, a lot of this production here from Kemell was a little bit slowed down. He missed out on so much of the season, and he kind of got back off to a slow start when he returned, so I don't think that the point production metric that he has right now is truly indicative of what he could have done had he been healthy the entire season and had he not left the team for the World Juniors. So talk to me in the comments, what do you think about JOAKIM KEMELL and his entire prospect profile right here? Do you see a player as highly touted as I do? I see a guy who could be a number 1 right wing, a number 1 goal scorer, a number 1 left side power play option, who can OV1 time it like no tomorrow, and who can also do some very good things when the puck is on his stick, holding onto it for a while. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about this player. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.